password's New York, the Gmail?
Yeah.
Oh.
It should take you to a... Okay.
You won't believe why I'm wearing fucking glasses inside. Apparently,
it looks tacky.
I
went
tacky
to me.
And
hold on. Somebody's playing some music.
Oh shit, my phone. I do hear that too on the mic.
Apparently, I have really bad eye strain going on. Whatever the fuck that means.
Body's falling apart.
Listen, man. We do this.
Okay.
Plus, that's my favorite Chris Brown song.
You could hear that?
You're wrong. Definitely Justin Bieber.
Oh my god.
You were wrong. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start. You got the song ready?
I'm trying to get the fucking Wi-Fi thing going. That's all right. I'll put my phone. I don't need calls right now. I can't believe you don't fucking know this song.
And then we'll just slide the chair up if you need to. Move that back so that we can just sit there for you. Okay.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah, so start.
All right. I really feel like you should know this, but it's like the second other queen, aside from Beyonce.
Can you turn it up?
You don't know it?
What? Oh, wait, I do. I've heard
Count
it.
them motherfucking digits. How do you not know
Hold on.
this?
Can you let it keep playing?
You don't need to keep playing. Anybody knows this. The fucking video guy knows this.
Who is this?
You know what? I don't know what hole you've been in.
Who is that? I've heard it. I've heard the little gyrating
You don't know who that
song.
was just by hearing that for a second?
Are you going to act like you've never done a podcast before? Can you scoop
I'm
the
sorry.
mic up? God damn.
You still don't know this? You know what, Mandy? This is... Who's the one that fucks white guys? Is it you? Because what the fuck is going on?
I'm really confused. Who is that? Can you
Bitch, it's NERD. It's Pharrell and Rihanna. And it's called Lemon.
Oh, that's where I saw her perform it in Crenshaw.
Wow,
or,
that
you know.
song. And I got shaded so hard 10 minutes ago for not fucking knowing love and hip-hop shit. Please.
This is brand new. Probably just came out. I don't listen to the radio.
Been a month.
I listen to what I download. It's something I haven't downloaded. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Whatever.
Anyways, guys, welcome to fucking 2018. Fuck the bullshit. This is my first time seeing Wheezy in 20. No, it's not. I'm lying.
Not.
I definitely just saw you last week. Fuck.
You were kind of fucked up.
Welcome, guys, to yet another episode of Horrible Decisions. I'm your girl, Mandy B.
And I'm Wheezy.
And today we are starting off the new year with yet another guest who's late. But listen, y'all, if y'all can give me the time to give guests to not be in CP time, since I know a lot of y'all is black, let's have the discussion real quick. How early do I need to tell black people to show up on time?
I feel like I always, for me, it's always 15 minutes.
Which is why I told...
niggas always have a 15-minute, late.
So we recording right now at 6 p.m. I said, girl, can you show up by 5:45? She's about... saying she's going to arrive at 6:15, which that makes me... You're 30 minutes late.
You know what's going to be really
so
funny? If we end up liking her and then she listens to this whole thing.
I'm sure I'm going to like her.
I'm not.
I'm positively going to like her. You're just a bitch. But I hate how people are just not considerate of other people's
Who was
time.
the latest guest we ever had? Oh, Mal.
Mal
and
was...
then it was funny. People were like, I wish you did longer episodes. No, he just
No, that nigga showed up 30 minutes late. No, Marcus.
What's good, y'all?
Marcus also showed up late from Love
that.
and Hip Hop. You don't remember because, bitch, we just started recording and we ended up paying for extra studio time. This is really frustrating. For 2018, guys, I need all of my black people to come together and show up on time.
I have something to talk about this random.
Yay.
I couldn't sleep last night, so I went on Lipstick Alley to see what shit people
I don't
talk
know
about
why.
us. Oh, they think we're breaking up, dude. But let me just
keep going to that trash.
It's trash
site.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing.
The people on
they
there,
keep listening to us, so it's clearly people. Some of them
because
are
they're
patrons.
miserable. They probably really fucking hate my guts and are just trying to
They
figure
do
out
hate
how
you,
bad
but now they're starting to
my
hate me
life
too.
is. Good.
But let
they
me
should have
finish.
been hated you.
Some of them are patrons. So they do listen to the show. This is just where they spill tea, whatever. So
Wrong
anyway,
tea.
They really think we're not going to have. They're
Their
like
tea
they
is
hate
cold.
each other. They were like, oh my god, you're starting to notice how much they don't like each other, blah blah. And I'm like, nothing has changed. We've hated each other the same
from
amount.
the very first show.
So I don't really know why they think it's
I
getting
don't know
worse.
why you keep reading it,
Because that's okay. People that love us follow us on Instagram and write us a lot. Unless they're anonymous emails, I don't feel like I really get that much honest feedback. Unless it's from my friends. My friends keep it real. They're like, y'all were wrong. Y'all did this wrong. You should have researched this more about HIV and blah, 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 which I understand. But other than that, besides the shit talking stuff, these are people that are honest because they're anonymous. It might be trolling, but
they're trolling as fuck.
But listen, it's fucking honest. So I don't know why they say we argue too much now. And I'm just like, I feel like we've always hated each other this much. But yeah, oh my God. They know where I work now. Like, it's crazy, dude.
No, they're all guessing 24/7.
How did Mandy do this? How is Mandy doing finance and being a hoe at the same time? She's got to pick one.
I don't understand why I can't suck dick and have a job. Like, it's really confusing me. Like,
I know, but
yeah, they're all guessing who the fuck we're fucking. They're trying to guess who Loverboy is. They're trying to guess who 24/7 is.
They got pretty close.
It's just fucking annoying at this point. So I don't go on there. Not only that, they think that we're confused as to because we're traditional. They were talking about us wanting to cook for our man and do stuff for our man in the BK chat episode. They dragged for filth how we talked to. It was.
Okay. Now that I look back on it, I blamed it on you. Remember when we left? I was like,
you
went
blame
too hard.
everything on me.
But when I listened to it, we were both pretty bad.
You need to really re-listen to stuff because then you'll start hearing a lot of bullshit that your ass does.
They were like saying, what does Weezy think of Mandy after the married thing and blah, blah, blah. And I guess like someone had also brought up how when we discussed you calling me promiscuous. And
which I stand by every motherfucking thing I said.
Now, and like, okay, that was a episode that was a while ago. But one thing, and mind you, this is just us filling time in for our latest guest. I do want to say, it wasn't necessarily that I think in the moment it bothered me because it felt like such a label. And like I've been telling you recently, like I hate this whole like you're this and that. Like I've been called a hoe, fully clothed. Or before someone knew me, or just because I won't talk to a guy, it's like, fuck you, ho. It's like, it's just used so much. And then I think, like, the word promiscuous is also labeled as a bad thing.
Well, promiscuous to me, like, I was bringing it up as an adjective.
Right. And
not necessarily a label. And as an adjective, as defined by Wikipedia, it stuck.
And,
like, bitch, if you skinny, you skinny. There's a definition for skinny. Is you light skin? You light skin.
That
is you promiscuous? You promiscuous.
I don't know. I don't really care if people think I'm promiscuous or not. Some people in their minds, promiscuous is going to be the word they use. But
see what you just said? That's growth. And you don't know it, but you said, I don't care if people see me as promiscuous. That is motherfucking growth. Because
how would I care? Listen, I didn't care
because
the first time.
When we started this show,
bro, I'm the one who said, let's call it horrible.
Right, but when we started this show, we talked about this off air. You were caring about how people were going to view you. I'm not giving you any credit for anything. I'm trying to be your therapist here. I'm black.
I have
one.
You like
black therapists. Well, I'm half, and we're going to do this right now.
It's like I want to have therapist.
And I feel like you literally just showed a little bit of growth, which I'm proud of you.
I mean,
that's my nice thing to say about you. We haven't done that in a while.
I think I care. Like, it was a different, like, I always said I didn't care, but now I'm, like, really starting not to give a fuck. Like, I can read terrible things about myself. Now I'm like, oh. And maybe that's because I smoke more marijuana or whatever it is. But speaking of that, my therapist is like really trying to get me some weed. And I just really appreciate him for that. And it's funny because like, oh my God, I guess he can't find this. He knows the name of my podcast. But I was telling you how I'm like trying to trick him into giving me Xanax.
Why are you tricking?
Well, it's so simple. Like I'm already stressed out and shit. And so now
she's terrible. By the way,
I just look up the symptoms exactly. And I'm just like, I don't know, Juan. I'm just feeling really anxious, particularly in the workplace. And I feel like it's affecting my well-being.
You're terrible.
What do you think I could do for that? And then he'll look at me and be like, I don't know. Maybe we should try something like an antidepressant. Maybe a Xanax. I'm like, really? You think? I mean, I don't know if I should do like drugs.
And you know what the fuck all of these things do? I got prescribed codeine. And you were like, just lose it on the train. They'll give you another prescription. I'm like, no, bitch, you're not taking my codeine.
Well, I'm just saying, if you say you lost it like right after you got it, they'll probably give you another one.
Yeah, you're pretty trash for that. So I guess I wanted, because we talked about this, I want to say on the Lisa Spliffson episode, and or maybe before that. So we talked about, of course, riding dick. And
that was so weird that you were like, I never.
Well, it's not that I've never rode dick, but I'm, you know, bitch, I'm on the big side. So riding dick for me is a lot of motherfucking work.
I think it's a lot of work for anybody. I work out 5 days a week and I still feel like I'm going to pass out.
That's what I'm saying. And so I am just not a fan of riding dick.
I think it's a calves thing.
I'm trying to think what part of me hurts while riding dick. But anyway,
My legs.
Well, listen.
And you got a lot to the fucking thigh.
Listen, these thighs for real. So, anyways, last night I was with that nigga, and I had probably one of the best orgasmic experiences. I don't know if it was because I was on codeine or if
That was definitely
but
why.
the dick was so. I was riding him. He was sitting down in the sitting down position, and I was sitting on him facing the opposite way and going up and down, and I almost couldn't stand up. He was almost laughing at me because I came multiple times like that, and I was like, nigga, I don't be riding your dick. This is good. And I had to tell him, I was like, don't get comfortable. This ain't gonna happen. But he was like, man, you could barely stand up. I just kept shaking, and it was fucking
Well, for one,
amazing.
If you had your medicine that was prescribed, I just want to say that we sound like I know they know I'm the crazy one, but yeah, I mean, you were
so
on that,
good.
so you're already super relaxed and everything feels euphoric. So that's probably why you came super hard. But second, this is exactly why bitches like to ride because you feel it on your clit.
It was so good, and mind you, I told him before, because I just had surgery. Not gonna talk about that, but I was like, you gotta be, gentle, because he be fucking me like porn star sex. I be like, you gotta be gentle. So we started with the riding thing, and I was just I actually felt the orgasms in my stomach. I was like, okay, maybe I need to turn around because this might not be a good thing that I'm feeling this
I'm
good
gonna
right
bust
now.
a stitch.
It was just bitch. Look, I'm laughing right now, bitch. I'm really going back thinking if I show you, hold on, I want to show you. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this.
What?
If I show you this
Video?
this text message after, this is how you know it's good. I said,
Let me read it.
I said it wouldn't stop.
Oh my God. Let me just first start by saying there is a gif of, I don't know, it looks like a busted pipe and there's just water spewing out of it. And she put, liked with 4 E's. Like that, daddy.
Don't read.
Have a good studio session. Then she sends the gif and put, it wouldn't stop. Upside down smiley face. Definitely need one more before you jet set. Then when he said laughing my ass off 12 hours later because niggas,
Well,
she sends back a Conan O'Brien jumping up and down happy. This is fucking hilarious.
Oh,
Hi.
shit. And look, we was talking about riding dick, and you the perfect person to be walking in for that. Our guest is here, guys.
She is wearing a
Oh,
all
Lord.
black
Look,
bodysuit.
y'all
It's
better
velvet
be lucky we
It's
recording
hot.
this shit.
and thigh-high boots.
Woo, bitch. So we're
let's
gonna
see,
sit
a
you.
deep
Are you here by
V.
yourself or your husband as well?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna sit you over. No, let's sit you right here.
Yeah.
Sit her over there.
No, I want to look.
You can look right next to you.
No, it's awkward.
Okay, nope. Now we're gonna put it right here. All right, so we might want to bring him on as well.
Okay.
Because we got some questions. So guys, I guess we can introduce our guest who is here. We have Tyomi, who
Hi.
everyone
Hi.
has
you have a
wanted.
good voice. You must have
Yes.
done this before.
Oh, well, yeah.
Everyone. So it's so crazy because I think between Instagram and Twitter, everyone was just like, why you ain't had her on the show yet? This is who you need to show on the show. Bring her on the show. And I was like, okay. So then we were talking, but it was while you were out of town. It was over the holidays.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember
like,
our
dealing with
DMs.
studio, dealing with all of this. So I'm like, okay, we gonna get you in here, girl. Just hold out. For me.
Right.
Do you live in New York?
Yeah, I'm part-time between New York and Chicago. So I
Okay.
got married on Saturday. My husband's from Harlem.
Congratulations.
Thank
I saw a picture of you guys. You guys are so
So it's like a book cover.
I know it's
It
very
is.
like
It's like a
Afro
fairy tale.
punk,
It's so
but
cocoa
love
butter,
making-
love.
It is.
shea butter, coconut oil, incense.
Yeah, you look like an incense type of. You have incense on when you fuck normally.
Yeah.
What's this incense smell name?
Actually, it's his name, Naim.
Oh, of course. Maybe we gotta start fucking to incense with names, and maybe they'll come into our life.
I do like
Or
sage and like
African
Palo
musk,
Santo, but
you know.
Oh, there we
Oh.
go. I done had
Yeah.
African dick be small though. But
Not the ones
I
I've
mean the
had.
ones I've had.
I
I
don't
like African American dick is great, but African them niggas be.
maybe because bitch, if they were
kinda
paying for it, maybe that's why.
Oh, you might be right. Well, they married. That's why they paying, not because they dick small. Anyways.
I mean,
Anyways, guys, we want to go ahead and I guess introduce you. So you're a sexpert, you're a blogger, you're a pleasure trainer. You do
yeah,
so
pretty much.
You do so many things. So let our listeners know exactly what you're known for.
I am known for sex education. I've been teaching for the last 7 years, primarily online. I've toured the world with my classes. I have a YouTube channel where I show people how to get into like different sex positions.
Like 16 million views on how to ride dick.
We tried to do that on our live show, like with somebody from the audience. We picked a girl for Mandy to like demonstrate on. It was not good.
Yeah,
I didn't know you need a degree for that.
You don't, but it's like just one of those things that's not something that you just know how to do. It takes
You're
practice.
right. It does take practice.
You have to be in shape. And when I say in shape, I don't mean like, fitness guru in the gym. Like there's a specific set of muscles that are being used when you're on top. So you have to develop them.
We just talked about riding real quick because I didn't even have it in for you to talk about riding. But
it's
I need to know
one of my
muscles.
favorite things to teach.
And I need to know the muscles because I just rode again for the first time in like a couple
what
years.
is it that hurts? Like, because I always feel like it doesn't matter if you're in shape or not. Like riding,
it's your hip flexors. Your hip flexors.
Okay, those are
and
right here.
I feel like it's in my legs. I feel it in my calves or something. Do I not? Or maybe if you're on your feet.
I mean, think about it.
Hip flexors. That's that machine you go in the gym and open and close the legs.
But think about it too. Like you don't sit in that position often at all, and we sit down most of the time. So like,
I feel like I do on my squatty potty.
Probably. Like we sit down so much, like our hip muscles and our leg muscles get tight and they get weakened. Like we pretty much live sedentary lifestyles. So
how do I make sure? Like how do you
stretch every day?
That's it. Stretching, not not squats or something.
Stretch. I mean squats. Any type of like leg lifts or kickbacks, any type of lower body exercise will work for it. But I teach a class specifically that targets the muscles that you use during riding, and it kind of like simulates it. It's like a mixture of twerking and like hip rolling, but literally it's you doing it full out for like at least 3 minutes at a time per song.
How many people pass out?
Not many.
Right.
Bitch, we would.
Because riding dick is...
Yeah, it's a challenge, especially when
I'm kind of lazy. Like I could suck a dick, and that's my one thing.
I was like, my throat don't get tired as much as my legs do.
Okay, well, I did all that
workout.
work, so I'll just lay on my stomach now.
It's a workout, especially when like if you have really wet pussy and then like his size, like he keeps slipping out a little bit. Like you gotta really adjust it. It's
I don't think men realize how much be going on through our minds when we're trying to not only please ourselves but please them. Like aside from not dying with a dick down my throat, it's like when I'm finally
Sex in the City. It's not a job for nothing.
Exactly.
When I'm finally taking it, it's like, okay, does this feel good for him? And then apparently there's a grinding thing that a lot of females do when they're on dicks that doesn't feel
There's
good
like
for
memes
men.
about that. Like, oh, we don't love this shit that you do. Like,
right. So,
because it's supposed to be a stroke, just like how he strokes you. So the vagina is supposed to slide on and off the dick. And if you're just sitting there grinding, if he's deep and you're grinding and there's still some like movement in there, like a little swirl, it could feel good, but for the most part, no. Because most women are just sitting there scooting their clits on his pelvis, and he's like,
what do you selfish of a person, but I feel like, we do enough.
Look,
I've done laundry and I cook. Like, you could take some
I'm gonna be honest.
shit.
I feel like there's so much pressure put on people in general for what is supposed to be done. But really, if you never want to ride dick ever in your life, you don't have to.
Listen, for the last 3 years, I just
don't
rode
have
it once.
to. Right, exactly.
Once in 3 years.
And I can't believe all the fucking you do.
Well, goddamn.
But I mean,
I have an ass. That's why they like to get behind me.
I was going to say, when you have ass,
you ain't got to do shit.
It don't matter.
You, however, being on the skinnier side, I get why you have to do a little bit more.
I have to work with my hands and shit. And
yeah,
like,
you
okay,
do.
Just look at your face.
When you are a thick girl, like there are things that can substitute for riding on top. Because for most guys, if you're thick and you get on top, it's a wrap. They're like, I want to have controls, and then they get behind you. Yep. But even then, like you can't even really throw it back that much, because if you start throwing it back, depending on the guy, he'll be like, whoa, too much. Okay, now I just came.
I be throwing that ass back. Well,
yeah.
I appreciate the
me too.
the riding dick I guess intro that we just had. We normally start with icebreakers, and I did want to get into these icebreakers because I picked them because they kind of relate to what you do as well.
Okay.
So the first one is going to get into kind of what you do. So it's, would you rather be able to speak every language and lose the ability to write, or write in every language and lose the ability to speak? And I know you speak and you write. So you would rather lose the ability to write. Oh, you would rather write in every language and lose the ability to speak.
Yes.
So you're better with your writing than speaking.
I'm great with both, but like writing is so therapeutic for me. I would just.
I was gonna say I'd rather be a mute and just be able to in every.
I love writing. I mean, most of my career is writing. Like I run a blog. I write for CashesLife.com.
Like you can't have a job.
I mean,
it's gonna be a lot harder to have a job if you can't write than if you could just
yeah,
talk.
because like
Not unless
literally
you work for the government.
most
They
of my
need-
job
how
has
do you use a
been
computer? How do you have an
writing.
email? How do you
Exactly. Unless you dictate it, I mean, you can just put on the microphone and then
Right, there's
Oh.
ways around. Look,
Look at
she
technology.
know. Okay.
Just saying.
Okay, so here's the second one. Would you rather increase your level of sexual romance or your sexual experimentation?
Sexual experimentation.
So you would rather increase that than your romance.
Because
I like that.
Because
I think we're on the
Maybe
same.
it's personal though. Maybe she's already got such a good romance level like going on.
Yeah, I mean, romance is really what you make it, and everybody gives romance all the meaning it has. Like giving flowers could be romantic to some people, but not to others. Like some women might not think that receiving flowers is romantic. So I would rather experiment with sex over the whole romantic thing.
With you being a sex educator and helping people through the bedroom, is there anything left for you to experiment with?
Yeah, it's a lot
There's
out
a
here.
lot.
People-
She's like, yeah.
There's a whole
People asked us that too.
They ask us that a lot. So
a
that's,
lot, especially if you go into BDSM and kink.
That's
you
her
know,
shit.
What are your top 2 things that just came in your head, like
with kink?
of things you haven't tried that you want to?
Maybe like sex on a roller coaster, just something.
is that possible though?
It's possible.
Okay,
Like
you
a
took
Ferris
shit
wheel?
way
You
further than I
You
thought.
gotta think about it. Sex
What is
isn't
this, fear
just,
factor? Like,
well, the whole like thrill seeking thing. I'm an exhibitionist too, so.
okay.
And then like I just want to have a big orgy. I mean, I've had one before, but like
It
How
wasn't
many-
big enough?
How many people were in the one that you've had?
Let me see. It was like 4 guys and it was 3 girls, but I was kind of just like doing my thing with one, so I wasn't involved with everybody. So it was just
Okay.
like everybody having sex at the same time in the same place, kind of a thing.
Was this a friend thing or was this a swinger sex club type of
No,
ordeal?
it was like we were in Vegas
Oh,
and there were
Vegas.
these guys.
Say no more.
We get it.
Yeah,
She was like, we were in your vagina or Vegas?
vagina in Vegas. You
wanna
already know
read
what's
the
going down.
third one?
Yeah. So would you rather have amazing sex that lasts 47 seconds or average sex for 10 minutes?
Both of those are whack, but
Well, yeah.
I'll take the seconds, bro.
I-
Amazing for 1 minute almost? Okay.
amazing sex would mean just hitting my A spot repeatedly. So I'll take that one.
And you know that's the kink. We're going to get into what the A spot is in a little bit, guys.
Would you rather be a sex slave for a month or wear a chastity device and not be able to have sex or masturbate?
Chastity
for a month?
device, cause sex slave, that shit could get crazy. Like people,
You know what's crazy? I kind of fetishize that, or I don't know what to say, but that's kind of
Fantasize about
that's
being
kind
what?
of one thing
A
I would
chastity belt?
I would like to kind of be a sex slave for like a weekend
Cause
with
look,
somebody.
you
and
have
just,
you literally have
You're
no
always
rights.
saying when I say stuff like no way.
You
What?
have no
Right.
rights.
I would like to be a
As
sex
a
slave.
sex slave. So
You have no what?
no rights.
So like,
so
right. So just think about it for a
But
second. 'cause
I mean,
don't
for
know-
a black guy, because they
Even
don't
for a
be
black
that- they don't
guy,
be that
black-
extra.
Wait. Take it back for a
Shit.
second.
Okay.
Are you thinking submission or do you know what a sex slave entails?
A sex slave entails you doing whatever the guy wants sexually, right?
right. So you got to think about this.
Something you have to ask if you want to stand up.
Listen,
Oh, that's
but
the slave.
but
part.
it's beyond that. Like there are some guys who are into like pissing on you, shitting on you, beating you in the face.
Well, don't get me wrong. You
choking
can have
you.
hard limits.
You know,
right.
So if you're a sex slave and you're like, okay, you're agreeing to it, and you're like, whatever
Okay.
I want to do. You,
Let's limit that to a sex slave with the niggas I know, because they don't be wanting to do no shit more than what I
That's
want to
just
do.
being submissive, though. That's not really like a sex slave is a
A
whole
sex
nother
slave,
role.
yeah.
'Cause
like
let me tell you
you
something.
want me
You know
to,
what? People
when
that
you
have may have
say-
seen it. Think of 50 Shades of Grey when she had to sign all that stuff. Even though that's a very vanilla movie to some, that's the best example
Listen,
of what it means.
You say sex slave is all bets are off. It's whatever that
Right.
person wants you to do, unless you do sign some kind of contract before. But if there's no contract, it's like you're just submitting to whatever. And when you give them that permission, something switches. Like because once they know you don't have any limits, anything can be done. You don't know what's
and then
going
how
through
do they
their
top
head.
the last thing you did? I did it for like an hour and it was too much.
okay. Well,
So, sex slave,
it's so crazy. Y'all still haven't weaned me off of not wanting to be a sex slave.
No, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, just be ready for whatever. You know.
And I be telling niggas it's whatever. So makes sense. And so the last question is, would you rather not be able to see during sex or not be able to touch during sex?
See, because I get blindfolded anyway. So
Ooh, yes,
Not seeing
blindfold.
is really good.
Really?
Yeah,
Do
it
you
is.
remember that story?
I won't get blindfolded again. I got blindfolded
you
and
said
the
you
nigga
had
straight took his condom off. Surprised me
See?
when he took the before he took the blindfold off, he was like,
Up here
"You're gonna be
stealthing
mad
and
at me."
shit. Stealthing. That's
straight-
wrong.
Yeah. So we actually talked about that too, but that's why I was like, I have kind of PTSD now from being
Yeah,
blindfolded.
I can believe
Like,
that
I don't
because he
want
violated.
Yeah,
Like-
he did. So I don't want the blindfold.
I had a
anymore.
very bad and a very good experience. My worst one was our first episode, the missing condom. This guy like really tried because he felt like I was just too sexually advanced, and he blindfolded me right out of the shower, and he's like,
Oh God.
"Meet me in the bedroom." I'm like, "Where?"
that sounds bad already.
Now the best one I've ever had was my first time having sex with someone I had known for months, so I felt comfortable enough to do this, and he told me to be on my knees, turned away from my front door, and when he came in, he blindfolded me, didn't take it off until he was inside of me. It was like 45 minutes of foreplay, and I was like, "When do I get to see you?" And I was
That's
touching his
too
face.
long.
I was
That's
starting.
hot though.
No, it's
That's
not.
hot.
Everything got more intense. Like
Yeah, that's hot.
I've
I like
actually wanted to ask Loverboy for it a few times, but I feel like he's
You
gonna
can't
be like,
ask him to do what another nigga did, can you?
that. Yeah.
He listened to the
Blind-
show. So you want me to do what that
blindfolded.
other nigga did?
But blindfolding is not
I
subjective
wanted to tell
just
him
one
exactly
person.
But
what
look,
was
she
done.
wants to do the exact same thing that she did. Yeah.
He can do it better. I mean, look.
Oh.
No matter what the sex act is, it's not like just reserved for one person.
right? Because it's like, hey, it was great, but I want to do it with you. It's not like he's
Yeah.
never,
Now,
had
if he's
his
in
ass
his
licked.
ego and like, I ain't trying to do nothing no nigga did, then that's on him. But I mean, you're being silly then at that point. Like, come on.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you brought it up because I don't even think I told you we was gonna mention this. I can't remember if I sent you this or not. But the A spot.
Oh,
So you did a blog on it.
I
You
did.
talked a lot about this A spot,
Mhm.
and all I know is about the G spot. So and the P spot. That's the prostate one for men. So I want to know what this A spot is. Can you give us maybe a definition and let our
Yeah.
listeners know how they can reach this if maybe they haven't been able to find the G spot and this is another way for them to reach orgasm.
Yeah, the A spot is actually deeper within the vagina. So the
Deeper.
G,
God damn.
the G spot is only 2 inches within the vagina, right on the front of the wall. Like
When
near
everybody
the
has
glands.
this
Everybody know
pulling
that.
thing.
No, right? Okay, fine, we get that. But not every woman's like comfortable with G spot stimulation. I know
I'm not.
Okay, shout out to you.
I don't like it.
So
I feel like the pulling, and then I think about nails, and
I
like
feel
I get
like
to.
I'm on the outside here because I like
I
it.
can't get in my
every
head
woman's
about it.
different. Every woman's different. Like I really just don't like the feeling. But the A spot though.
Okay.
It's deeper. It's on the front wall of the vagina as well. It's up near the cervix. And when it's stroked, of course, it's an erogenous zone. So when it's stroked, it creates like these really gushy, like waves of orgasms, and the vagina just gets extremely moist.
Okay.
I think that's what I felt
And
last night.
you probably did, but it's with deep penetration. And
he gets pretty up there. It's kind of big.
Yep, as long as you are aiming towards the front of the vagina, so like towards the belly button, you'll find it there. And
Can it be like? Now, do most men that are listening, can they do this with their hands or with during sex?
Or is
they
it
can do it with their hands and their penises.
Okay.
You know,
so a hand can reach far enough or
because the vagina's only about
Yeah.
5
How
inches.
does a guy not get to your cervix? Of course.
Right. So
tools?
You had one pull one in the condom out your pussy. She got right up in the A spot. That's probably where it was stuck.
Oh, maybe.
So yeah, I mean, it's a spot that people don't really know about, but they've probably felt it because men can feel it too. Like when they hit it, it feels like kind of slippery.
Okay.
Okay.
So once they hit that spot, you both like simultaneously will go, "Oh my God, what is that?" You know, because
Right.
it feels really good. And as it's repeatedly stroked, it's like the orgasms, they're not like super hard leg shaking orgasms, but they feel like they radiate from your pelvis and just kind of go throughout your body, and you just become moist, and they just come back to back to back.
I have a question that
amazing.
has been brought up
Yes.
a lot. We had a doctor on that debunked the squirting.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so
boom.
like, can we talk about like the fluid, because you're mentioning like
Yeah.
gushiness and stuff like that? Like, how is the secretion happening during squirting? What spot is it from? And is it mixed with some pee in it? Because a lot of
Alright,
people
listen.
are
This is
nervous
This is
about are they
right.
gonna.
Look, her face is.
Well, no,
just
a lot of
little-
people are nervous that they're
I-
gonna
I
pee on
know.
somebody
Look.
and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Of course, you're nervous that you're gonna pee on somebody because it's coming from the same hole that you pee from. Your
Right. Is
it
urethra,
though?
right? It is.
Yeah.
It's coming from your urethra, but the source of squirting is not from the bladder. It's from the Skene's gland, which is literally the same as the male prostate. It's just shrunken down, and it sits right near the opening of the urethra.
But now when we watch in porn, how these girls are like shooting out, and I've heard from a porn star, to be nameless, but she said that people that were doing squirting scenes were drinking mad water before.
That's true.
And oh yeah, you have to, like, my when the guy who likes to be pissed on, when he has me squirt, he wants me either drunk or he'll drink out.
But you said
like,
he's
he'll
the
give me
one that wants
water
to be pissed on, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
what we're watching on film, is that real? Are these
No.
girls peeing?
No, the average woman in porn is peeing.
Okay.
She's just drinking a
So
lot
that
of water.
we're
That's
seeing
a trick.
is peeing, right?
So and it really irritates me when guys are like mad pressed to try to make their women squirt, and I'm like,
hate it.
you don't even understand that what you're seeing in porn is unrealistic because it is forced and it is exaggerated. The average woman can squirt anywhere from a few drops to like maybe a half a pint or more, depending on like her body and stuff, and also her hydration levels. But the fluid is not pee. Now, can a woman make a mistake? And it's not even really a mistake. It's just what happens to your body. Can a woman like pee during sex? Yes, she can. It's called incontinence. You know, especially if you're a woman that has had a child or two, and you know your bladder is kind of weak. But squirting legit is just, it's a clear fluid. It's like similar to the fluid
so
that
good.
mixes with sperm to
So the
create
consistency is
semen.
a lot more thin.
Yep,
Right.
it's watery, and like if you taste it, it's kind of sweet. It doesn't have a smell. It's warm, of course. Can droplets of pee be in that? Yeah, sure. It's coming from the urethra. You know what I mean? But if a woman doesn't squirt it out, then it just goes back into the bladder, and then you pee it out when you go and use the bathroom after you have sex.
So I guess basically what you did just say for our listeners, there is a difference between making a girl squirt and making a girl piss.
Yeah,
And
because guess what? The bladder is right there next to all the other organs that are being stimulated when you're having sex. So if she has not used the bathroom before sex, if you're going hard or you're in a certain position, you can be hitting the bladder to where she feels like, oh my God, I gotta pee. And she may just pee, and that can happen. But listen.
So like the squirting on demand that people are seeing, right? Because
Squirting on demand from porn, that's
bullshit.
That's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And can you squirt when the A spot is stimulated, or only the G spot? Okay.
Yeah, you can squirt when the A spot is stimulated, and like more women, I think, squirt from like clitoral stimulation than penetration. But the time, like I've definitely squirted from penetration, and it was involuntary. I wasn't trying to do it. It just happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but there are women out there that can squirt on command. Like when you have control over your pelvic muscles, you can do that.
That's
you know,
a whole lot of control.
it is. It is.
I mean,
It
I
takes
got
practice.
my pussy muscles that I can grip, but
Yeah,
the pelvic muscles.
Well, that's the same thing. I mean,
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Now,
wow.
I think another question that listeners may have is, can every woman squirt?
Does every woman have the ability to do it? Sure. Every woman, unless you have some type of like medical condition, has the same anatomy. But is every woman going to do it in her lifetime? No.
Right.
Because it takes a certain level of knowledge and comfort and stimulation in order for it to happen. And when men are like going all hard and trying to force it to happen, like that's when it doesn't happen the most, because you're chasing it away. When you create anxiety and stress are like two of the top libido killers.
Right.
So you're like pressuring her, come on, baby, just squirt for me. It's like, I understand you want to be encouraging, but right now it's not encouraging. You're just doing a lot, trying to force the shit to happen.
I
You
was
know.
reading something that said 40% of women that have tried to squirt for the first time were like pressured into it and didn't feel like it was natural. And
It's
40%
funny-
is
it's funny
high.
that-
That's almost half of every fucking time.
It's
like,
funny that so many men want to feel and make a woman squirt more than I even hear women want to squirt.
You want to know why?
I'm listening. It's an
Because-
ego thing.
Yeah, it's a part of it. It's part of the ego, because men think about sex very externally. They think
Okay.
about sexual response very externally because of how
makes
they respond
Right.
to sexual stimuli. So, you know, when they have an orgasm, they're used to seeing semen coming out of their penises. For us, we are internalized. So when we have orgasms, everything's happening within us, but you don't see anything. So for them, it's like the ultimate achievement. If I made her squirt, I know that I did a good job
I'm
at
the
pleasuring
man.
her. her.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Okay.
not necessarily, bro. Like I can still have a great time and feel amazing without squirting.
And apparently,
For
I
sure.
heard, not heard, excuse me, when I was reading that squirting each time is not always an orgasm.
It's not.
No.
Right.
Because sometimes, like, literally, a squirt will happen without you even having an orgasm. It's just,
Right.
it's being stimulated. It wants to come out. You let it flow. You know.
Okay.
Sometimes it accompanies an orgasm. Sometimes it doesn't. So just because you make her squirt does not mean you're doing a good job at being a lover. You know, it's just her body responding. And
I know this wasn't part of it,
I
but
know,
I feel
but
like
I
it was.
know.
I feel like people really had a lot of questions
they
about
do.
the squirting.
It's like
Yeah.
one of the most asked questions, and it's so
Yeah.
annoying to me because I'm like, man,
Right.
can you learn how to do foreplay first before you try to make her
Listen,
squirt?
they be
Like, come
trying
on.
to jump the gun on
Yeah.
this.
And the
There's
doctor
levels
we
to
had
this
was getting
shit.
really
Levels.
frustrated. She was like, "Look, like it's real, but it's not what you're seeing on TV. Like, stop this like facade of squirting."
Like,
being
there's
a fucking
definitely,
fountain."
yeah, there's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
levels.
really annoying.
So with looking into what you do and even reading how you met your husband and reading that story, I was just like, she's perfect. So we do a lot of talk about couples and relationships, and you're kind of an expert at that. And so when I looked at something that you practice right now with your husband is free love. Before we get into that, I kind of wanted to go down because I saw you list all of these types of dating titles, I guess, that you could have, the labels. And I know I kind of
it's so much.
there's
like,
so many, but I actually didn't know like 3 of them. So I want to go through with our listeners because we have a lot of listeners right now who are
Which one didn't you know?
trying to find, I don't know, non-binary, triads, quads, solo poly, like
Oh yeah,
so
it's
forth.
a lot.
So I just saw these quick lists on your write-up, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can get a definition because maybe there's people out here who want a certain relationship and don't know how to address it or don't know what other partner to look for who
Right.
would align with this. So let's, I guess, start with the one that is sort of easy. It's funny because me and Weezy just spoke about this. Non-monogamous. Entering a non-monogamous relationship with someone means what?
So non-monogamous is like basically an umbrella. Non-monogamy will basically categorize everything else we're seeing here.
Okay.
So it's like the umbrella. It means that you are not with just one person, whether that be socially, meaning living together and all that, or sexually, meaning solo, just with sex with one person.
Okay, so polyamorous, we've talked about this. Do you want to give that one real quick? We don't have to stay on that one. We talked about that.
Polyamory is basically having a relationship with other people where everyone involved knows what's going on and everyone has the consent of everyone involved for all this stuff to go down.
Okay.
And it's not just about sex, it's also romantic partners as well. And most of the time people have like a primary partner and then everyone else outside the primary partner is considered a paramour.
A paramour. Okay,
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
Look,
But
it's
she's
a whole
like- she's
glossary
like,
of this
"That's a
shit.
whole-"
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a
Okay.
lot.
And so that's polyamorous. What is a solo poly?
So, a solo poly is a person who doesn't have a primary partner and they choose not to take on a relationship that takes on the form of a traditional
It's
relationship.
like Dub. Dub is polyamorous.
Ah, like a
but-
unicorn.
I mean, I guess if you want to call it
Well,
that.
if a
I mean,
unicorn is polyamorous, because unicorn could just be somebody that's guest starring, really.
Right.
Yeah, so this person, they hold down multiple romantic and sexual relationships without having a primary partner and without choosing to be in a relationship that looks like the typical, like, I'm dating this one person, like a typical girlfriend,
So would that be like
boyfriend.
Nola
Right.
Darling? Have you watched She's Gotta Have It?
But
no, she doesn't.
Poly
even,
is when, correct me if I'm wrong,
Everyone needs to know about each other?
yeah, and everyone
Ah.
doesn't know about each other, so she's
So
not
she's
poly.
just, I guess,
Amorous.
you're saying I'm
Okay.
She's just fucking.
Damn, I
think
thought I
I've
was
been-
solo
a
poly for a little bit.
I skipped a little bit, but triads. I guess that was definitely what I had then.
A triad and a quad is basically a polyamorous relationship where everybody lives together in the
Oh.
same household. So
Oh.
if it's 3, it's tri. If it's 4, it's quad.
And that's under the polyamor. But,
Yeah, but-
in that sense, they're all dating each other and can't have outside relationships. They're all one big
right,
relationship.
they're all like one big unit, living together, all contributing to each other's
Right,
like
right.
financial wellness and all that stuff.
Ah.
So, but it's like there could be a primary partner within that, but they're all just together.
Okay, and then swingers. We've talked to you guys. We pretty much know what swinging is. So you don't practice any of these.
Well, we didn't bring up
No.
non-binary, did
Oh,
we?
Well,
non-binary.
non-binary is basically people who are in relationship that do not subscribe to gender roles.
Right.
So,
Because,
Oh,
I mean,
so like
people generally, we
pansexuals.
talk about like gender being non-binary.
So that would
that's
be
why I
like
was curious. like-
pansexuality.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
not identifying with gender roles. So of all of these labels, you say throw all them shits away.
They're okay.
that-
Listen, it's nothing wrong with practicing any of that. The main focus is, are you practicing love? Because a lot of people, what they do is they get into these relationships, but there's still boundaries, there's still rules, there's still control, there's still jealousy, there's still all these things that pop up because they're not remembering the love in it. And also, they don't have a real purpose for why they're even in this type of relationship. It's like, okay, so you want to be polyamorous, but what is your purpose? Is it just so that you can fuck other people and that's it? Because if that's it, that's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
You know, having a purpose in your relationship is a destination because it's a relationship, a ship being a vehicle. So this has to carry you somewhere. If you don't have a purpose, then why are you even doing it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because for the polyamorous person who has a primary partner, and then you have all these other people, what is your purpose for having all these other people? Is it just so you can fuck other people? Because if that's the case, why are you even having this title?
Right.
Like, it doesn't
And
make
so
sense.
free love is different from these and what?
It's just
What
love.
is free love?
So
love is
I
free
called
love
it
is love.
I called it free love because the average person won't understand that love in itself is free. Love is freedom. So for me to be able to explain it to people where they understand is to call it something, to give it a label.
Okay.
But really it has no label. My husband and I love each other and we love everyone in our lives the same. Love is freedom. And within that, you know, he doesn't require for me to change anything about myself. I don't require for him to change anything. And we have multiple partners in our lives. And that does not mean that all of our partners are sexual partners.
Okay.
His mother is a partner. My mother is my partner. His sisters, his brothers, his business partners, his friends,
right.
These are all partners.
I hear you. I got a question coming.
So the love that we practice is just love. And we don't hold any restrictions on each other.
Cheating doesn't exist in your relationship. There's no way that
because
he could cheat or you could cheat.
The only way that we can cheat is if in our minds we forget who we are to each other and we forget that we're on the same team. It's not about what we do or don't do with our bodies because our bodies don't mean anything. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. But when people get into relationships, they believe they have dominion over the other person's body. Oh, you're mine now, so you're not allowed to go and have sex with someone else. But love says you're free to do what you want to do and don't do what you don't want to do. So for me to say, hey, Naeem, you can't go share your dick with anyone else because I own you. That's not love. That's not love. That's me being in my ego. He's free to do whatever he wants to do. And he chooses to be with me. Likewise, do I choose to be with him? So our definition of cheating is if in my mind I'm like, Naeem's a fucked up person. Like my ego's telling me bullshit that I know is not true. And then I start believing it. And then I start attacking him. That's true infidelity. When you start forgetting that your partner is an innocent party who you trust and who you love, and then you start attacking them because you're believing lies that your ego is telling you.
Right.
Wait, so you're saying cheating has nothing to do
Has nothing to do with what we do
another
or
person.
don't do with our bodies. It has everything to do with how we think about each other.
Well, not even
in
our bodies,
minds.
right? Because a lot of people say that you can cheat just by texting someone else or being like emotionally involved with someone else. So
It's funny because I
you're
feel
saying
like
cheating has nothing to do with
but so many
another
women
person.
look for their partner to be doing something wrong. And so I
And
guess
you got to really look at it. What are you basing your relationship on? Are you basing it on love, which is the content, or are you basing it on the form, meaning sex, romance, text messages, phone calls, dates, who you talk to, who you interact with?
So
because if you're
what does it
basing,
mean though for what then if that's not cheating, then what is it called when our average definition of cheating, where someone's partner ends up sleeping with someone else and they're being lied to, then what's
is that just
called?
miscommunication?
that's people labeling it whatever they want to label it, because the average person in a relationship believes that they're in a situation where they have control over someone. So of course, if you're in a relationship where you feel like you own someone and you have dominion over whatever they do with their bodies, of course you're going to call that cheating. But we're not playing games here.
So like
in
I'm gonna play devil's
relationships.
advocate because I feel like everyone that's listening is like, this bitch is nuts. Now,
Well, yeah, it's going to sound crazy. You want to know
To be
why?
fair,
Because the
I-
average person out here doesn't think this way.
Right. Now, I'm
average
not
person
monogamous
doesn't
as
even
well,
get into
but I
right.
do.
relationships.
I'm really
Look,
trying to like stay on the same track here. I don't give a shit if the person I'm with fucks someone else. I think that has nothing to do with what we have.
And you are thinking the correct way.
But I can't tell you that I don't call someone being lied to and like sleeping behind someone's back cheating. So like that's where I'm confused because this is something that works for me and you.
Mm-hmm.
But to someone else that it doesn't work for two people that are consenting that they just want to be the only ones, then what? What about monogamous people?
Well, for monogamous people...
So where are we only talking about in terms of people that are non-monogamous?
No. See, this is the thing. If you are a person that wants to be monogamous and you and your partner have an agreement that, oh, we're only going to be with each other.
Right.
That's completely fine. But the question is, are you subscribing to love or do you care more about the form? Who you do what with, where you go, all that stuff. Because if love is the main thing that's holding you together, whether you are in a monogamous relationship or not, it should not matter what someone else does with someone else because love cannot be threatened. There is nothing that can ever be done, nothing you can ever do with anyone else that will threaten the love that you and your partner have for each other.
I believe that too.
However,
but what if
are you subscribing to ego? If you are going behind your partner's back and being sneaky and doing things, no, of course you are, because you're forgetting love in that moment. If you love your partner, open communication, that should
and we
be
say that all
a
the time.
go.
It's probably more so the communication. If you're lying and you're being deceitful, I guess we call it cheating.
Lies,
she would
deceit,
call it lie, deceit, like
greed, jealousy. Those things come from fear, right? Fear is of the ego. If you love your partner, you know that even if they went out there and fucked 1,000 dicks or sucked 1,000 pussies, like it's not going to change the love that they have for you. But at the same time, it's like in the midst of that, can you still see your partner as the loving person that you trust, even if they decide to go and flex their autonomy? Because whether you guys have this contract or not, they're still free. Now, and that's the whole thing. Like, can you still...
For you, though, how does it work in your relationship where... You just said, like, I don't own him, blah, 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 and these things that are true. How do you feel when he's with someone else? Do you need to know? Are there any rules that you have?
No. Why do I need to know about where he's going and what he's doing what with? Like, I don't track his movements when he's like, oh, I'm going out the house to help my mother. I'll be back. I don't question that. But then as soon as he's going out the house to be with somebody else that's not a mother or a friend, now I'm supposed to jump down his throat and ask him where he's going and what he's doing? For what?
So what commitment is, what is your commitment to each other then? Because a lot of people feel like
that's
love.
It.
So you don't need anything else. Is there any?
No, there's not. What else is there?
So for example, like a lot of things that I need personally, and maybe it is my ego or an insecurity, but if, like, you know, you're married, I'd feel like I would need someone to know when someone's home with me. Like, I would want to know if I was going to come home and someone wasn't there. That's very important to me. They make a plan. I feel like, to me, it's at least considerate. So how do you, because you're saying you don't feel like you're owed any of that?
No, I'm not. He does not owe me an explanation.
But you're the primary partner.
No, I'm one of his partners, and we just so happen to be married.
Okay, but so you don't use the word primary at all?
No, because he has many partners in his life.
Even though, as a wife, you still don't think primary is a good word?
Why? I mean, look, yeah, I'm married to this man because we've chosen to be, but just because I have this title of wife now doesn't change anything about the love that
Not
we
that
share.
It has anything to change about the love, but like we talked about when you were going over these.
We don't.
Right. I know you don't have the labels.
We don't do none of that.
Now, does that title change, or are you open about your title with him when you have other partners? Do you have other partners as well?
Yeah, I just told you. We, like, all of our partners are not just sexual or romantic partners.
Right.
So I'll limit it to the sexual partners then, because that's where I think a lot of our listeners don't understand this idea.
People get completely confused because people put more importance on sex over love. So, and this is where people get themselves fucked up in love most of the time, because you're placing more emphasis on form, which is sex, which in itself doesn't mean anything, because sex can be used for violence, and sex can also be used to heal and to join together. But people use something that is completely meaningless in itself to harm themselves in separating themselves from the next person simply because, oh, you had sex with someone else. Our sexual partners, I don't know how many he has. He could have 1,000. I don't ask him that because it doesn't matter to me. And the
Okay.
same with me. Like, I have other sexual partners, but does he ask me about them? No.
So
Has
you don't
he
even
met-
share anything so like how does it happen? I mean, because you live together. He's your husband. I'm sure you
Yeah.
talk, and that's probably your best friend, right? So when does the conversation start to happen? Like, how do you learn about each other's other partners?
We don't, because it doesn't matter
Mm.
unless we bring it up. But it
So you
only
don't- okay,
matters
so-
when it only matters if those people are joining with us for a purpose.
Okay.
If it's just sex, that's purposeless. You're just bumping
Right, but you're
bodies,
saying not even
like-
just sexual partners. Like when
Yeah,
let's just
I
say you
mean-
meet someone new that's great and you start seeing them, like at what point do you share? Is that too much to share? Like
whenever we
that's
feel
like
like
my
it.
question.
Whenever we feel like it. Like, I don't ever press him, because he meets so many people on the street, and he's an author, and he always pushes his book. So
Right.
whenever he meets somebody, the first thing he's doing is, hey, I wrote this book about love. You know, I'll give you a free copy, whatever.
Well, I ask from the standpoint of like, so I know a few polyamorous couples, and I'm not polyamorous; we're just non-monogamous. But there's times where he'll say to me like, "I met this girl, and he's excited to tell me about it, or like the experience with it." How does that work for you? Do you?
I mean,
do you guys do that, or do you feel like it's sometimes too much, or
it's not something that's required.
right?
So if he meets somebody and he's had an experience and he wants to share it with me, he does, but it's not a requirement for him or for me. Sometimes we're out and we both meet people at the same time, you know, and then we'll engage with them and stuff like that. But it legit is not a requirement.
What's
for
some advice for people that have been considering this, but they're worried about
purpose.
jealousy?
Purpose. That's the whole thing. If you do not set a purpose with the person that you're in a relationship, why are we together? Where is this going? Then all the other stuff that pops up from the ego because you believe that you own somebody, that stuff is going to destroy it
Yeah.
by default. Because if you do not set a purpose intentionally for a partnership, then your relationship is just going to be running on default. And eventually all the stuff that we see that plagues the average person in their relationship is going to come in. It's inevitable, and it's going to sink your ship.
I have another
It's
question.
funny.
A lot of people do this when they are feeling like they're on the edge and they need something else. Do you think that this is something that can save a relationship?
Only with purpose.
Right.
Because, listen,
Because a lot of people do it when they're super in love and they feel like they want to open their hearts more to other people and whatever and have experiences and whatever. But some people feel like this is the end. We're going to have to do this.
that's the wrong.
Right.
If people go into being open, which is really, think about it, naturally as animals, we are not monogamous. And there's two different types of monogamy. It's social monogamy and then also sexual monogamy. But just because you choose to be with one person, because it's really a choice, doesn't mean your attraction cuts off.
Okay.
You know, and
Of course.
and we all naturally
Right.
develop relationships, right? Like
We
right
do.
now we have a relationship because we're in here talking, relating to each other. So you can't stop that.
Okay.
Which means you can't stop thoughts going through your head, because think about this. When you meet somebody, first thing you think, will I fuck this person?
Right.
Yep,
First thing you
that's-
think.
yeah, normally.
So even if you subscribe to monogamy and you choose that, it's not going to turn off that innate quality to want to join with other people. That's natural. But again, it's all about the purpose. Whether
Okay.
you want to be non-monogamous, polyamorous, all of that, set the purpose with every single last person you're in a relationship with. So then you know that, okay, like for instance, my partner and I, our purpose, we have a few different things underneath our purpose. One of them is to remember our innocence and to never attack each other. Another one is to laugh and play together. Another one is
saw this
to heal with each other. So, and to always remember who each other is in love. So because we have these staples now for our purpose, whenever we do start feeling that stuff coming up from our ego, we go right back to why we were together in the first place. And it serves as an anchor in our ship to keep us focused no matter where
I think
we
that's
go.
great advice. I think
Yeah,
I've
it
read
is.
some things like that, maybe not as detailed or maybe in different ways, but people saying you
That's-
need to have an anchor.
That's really good. And I think, so it's funny, speaking of, I guess, regular people, we have home mail from one of our listeners.
I have one more question.
And, well,
Yeah.
can I get through? This is
Hold
a long...
on. I feel like it's just
She
on
just
brand.
killing me.
For the point
she
of
done
no
went off
labels,
the track
right?
always.
I feel like it's something people would want to know.
No, because
you
this
mentioned
is a big
your-
thing right now.
Yeah. Fuck the whole mail. We can get to him. We got you today. So you said you're his wife, and you also said that you're not his primary. So like, and then discussed how you don't really need the labels. Then why get married?
Well, I mean, we just wanted to
Helps
take
for
that
taxes.
step. Well, not even that.
But no,
We
like,
just-
what in your
we
mind?
wanted to display.
I've heard a lot of people feel like they don't need it. It serves no purpose.
Yeah, I mean, in itself, it doesn't. But also, you got to remember that marriage serves whatever purpose you give it. So for us, our purpose in being together is to be reflections of each other and reminders to each other of who we are in love and in God. So our marriage isn't about like joining our money. I mean, we already did that the moment we met. You know, everything became one from the moment we started being together.
Right.
For us, it's like we know that the world has this perception of marriage, right? And with us being love advocates and love educators, we're like, we're going to get married and we're going to use our marriage as an example of what can be, because people don't believe marriage can be perfect. People don't believe that marriage can just be free and open without you needing all this other stuff to try to define it. Like, you do what you want to do, you don't do what you don't want to do. You have a purpose that binds you together, and you leave it at that. And communication, trust, all that stuff is like built into that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're using our marriage as a display of what can be. So it's not about why ever anyone else gets married or their purpose. We have a very specific intention and purpose for why we're doing what we're doing. Because in the past, I was like, I don't need to be married. Like, you know, I never. And he even said that too. Tomorrow it'll be 9 months.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
And 2 days married.
We have been married going on a week on Saturday.
This is
How quick did you guys move in together?
He gave me keys the first time I came to New York to stay with him. He's like, you're laying down next to somebody, you're sticking your dick in somebody, you can't give him keys to your place?
don't think like that, cause
Girl,
you make me feel bad.
I'm just saying, 150 keys.
I be fucking niggas. I don't even want them to talk in real life. Maybe
So, you
I'm
know.
like, all right, just don't talk, just stick it in.
I've been there. I've been there.
So I guess we'll get into our home mail. And this is one that I picked specifically for you because as we're talking about labels, this is kind of something she's in search for and asked for our opinion. So it says, "Hi, Mandy and Weezy. I'm in the situationship to end all situationships.
Okay.
The guy that I have been seeing, I'm sorry, I just lost it. The guy I have been seeing, and I got to start proofreading these. Y'all got to start writing right. We have been together, quote unquote, for almost 2 years. He came into my life during an extremely hard time in my life and has stuck around with me through some very hard family situations. He acts like my boyfriend, takes me on dates, sleeps over my house where I live with my mother 4 to 5 times a week. We don't talk to / fuck other people. And he asked me to cut off my ex completely, not unfollow on social media, but stop sending him occasional texts because it makes him uncomfortable. He is even planning on buying my mom and brother Christmas presents. For some reason, he still will not make me his girlfriend. Most people try to tell me it's just because he's not that into me, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit crazy, and I don't really get why he would stick around through my psychotic episodes. Not to mention the crazy shit that has happened with my family and the fact that he has cut off all the other girls for me and barely goes out and lives his single life. Like I said, we stay in 4 to 5 nights a week at my house watching Netflix, but still not wife me. He told me a few weeks ago that he was afraid to tell me his real insecurities and hesitations to being in a relationship because he was afraid I would look at him differently and not want to be with him anymore. I'm afraid of what that might mean. I want to hear his real reasons, but I'm scared of what he's going to say. I also don't want to rock the boat because I'll be honest, I'm in love with him and don't want to ruin our relationship. I know he has some hang-ups from his last relationship, but I just don't get what he could be so serious that after 2 years and countless hurdles we've crossed, he won't consider me his real girlfriend. Is it time to try to move on, or do I continue trying to make this happen because I already have so much invested? Sincerely, never gonna get wifed."
I wonder if she's happy.
So, yeah, thank you for even saying that, because the real question is here, what are you more concerned about?
It sounds like the title.
The title or the content, meaning the love? Because clearly this man loves her if you're doing all these things you're doing for her. She's in a situationship, which is a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just, it would be considered an open relationship. But what's funny is it appears that they've both cut, extra people out of their
lives.
Now it's sounding like they are sexually monogamous. Okay, fine. But the real question is, again, what matters more, the title or the content? Does it matter more that he has a label for you, or does it matter more that he's there for you and supports you and he's spending time with you? And also, too,
we had this conversation.
Also, too,
yeah. And then once he ended up like, oh, you want me to be your boyfriend? I was like, you know what? I don't know.
But then, too, that's the whole point. So she's so caught up in being the girlfriend, but what is your purpose?
Right, because she's even to the point where she's like, should I leave him? And it's like, you're really going to leave him over just a title? Is that what it is?
There's a video that came out on Twitter or Instagram where a girl was talking about why we need the title so bad if things don't change, and saying that it's this thing of commitment in our minds. And, you know, the person I'm dating, I had wanted that so bad. And at one point he was like, I don't know why. And then he said, fine, do you want me to be your boyfriend? And like, is that it? And then when I heard it, it was just like,
it sounded crazy.
Yeah, because you don't have a real purpose for why you even want to be in that form
and I couldn't
of
figure
relationship.
it out. And I think that something that in my mind made me feel more important, which was ridiculous.
Yeah, because there really is no level of importance in love. Like,
right.
Love just is, and everybody is the same, and love treats everybody the same.
I mean, if you want it that bad, why don't you ask him to be your boyfriend?
Yeah, right. That's kind of where I think, and it's funny because after we just delve into how deep relationships are and free love and what love is, reading this back is just like,
girl, you sound crazy.
You just sound crazy right now.
You sound like you got your psychotic.
I can't shade because I've been there. And
she was definitely there. I was just like,
we
girl,
all
get off
have
my phone.
And we all have.
You know, and my friends would say, well, he's never going to do it. And Mandy would say, he's never going to. Me and Mandy got in a fight about it. And it took me time to realize and stop listening to other people for what they know men to do, to just think like.
But it was even me telling you,
it's just
is it that serious that he's not giving you that title? And I would yell at her because it would be like, you just want him to tell you you're with him, you're sleeping with him, y'all are open, your communication is great, you're flying to go be with him. Why are you so strong on this title of boyfriend? And we literally talked about this.
And I think it's just societal norms.
It is.
Just wanting to be.
There were times that I didn't know what to call him, and then once the mom meeting happened, I was like, wait, but he's not my boyfriend. I don't know. And it was just like, my mama had to tell me to get out my fucking head. Yeah. When it's funny, I was mentioning this to my therapist. He says, what are the things that you feel like you're in limbo with? And that was one of the things I mentioned to him, and he's like, why do you care?
Right.
And it's literally that title thing.
What is the purpose?
And I think that a lot of women will say that if a man won't call you this, and a lot of men will say this to their girlfriends or whatever, and say, if he won't make you his girl, he doesn't give a fuck, or he just wants to be single and be open, and he just doesn't want to be tied down.
This man is free to do what he wants to do, and guess what?
Even if it was.
You want to know the beauty in that, and having the power of decision? When he does decide and choose to be with you, that's a gift.
Yeah.
Because guess what?
Right.
He can be with anybody he wants to be with at any given time. But if he's choosing to spend time with you, that means that he actually wants to be there.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Your presence is a gift in anybody's life. Your presence is a gift in anyone's life. And that's how you have to look at it. This is why people start taking each other for granted, because you assume that they are entitled to be there. Simply because you have these romantic feelings towards each other, or because you're fucking each other, or because you get text messages every day and spend time with each other and eat together every day. You assume that this is an obligation now, all because you have this contract through sex or monogamy, whatever. But in reality, we all have power of decision. At any time you don't want to be with who you're with or with who you're with, you can just leave.
Block them.
At any time. Right. You
can.
You can ghost.
Right. I'm sure this girl will be happy now.
But because you consciously choose to show up and be present with that person, it is a gift.
Right.
And when you can think of it like that, you will stop taking the people in your life for granted, and also like raise up your own self-esteem and realizing like, oh wait, shit, I ain't gotta be here. Especially when stuff is happening that doesn't make you feel comfortable.
Right.
In this situation with this guy, it doesn't sound like he's done anything or say anything to her to make her feel like not loved.
Right.
It seems like he's a very loving guy.
He's there with you.
Honestly, it's probably her fucking friends.
It might be her friends nagging her, like, so you just gonna have this nigga all up in your house 4 or 5 times a week,
and he ain't
your man. It's probably, it could be that, and I think a lot of our listeners need to realize that they don't even, this image doesn't need to be created for everyone outside. Your relationship
It
and who
does
you deal
not.
with.
Keep it
Because,
to
girl,
yourself.
everyone keep asking me about 24/7. I like our relationship and what it is. I
Let
don't
it
need
be
him to
what
be
it
my
is.
boyfriend. And we talked even for like an hour last night, like before I wrote a dick. And it was just like,
For the first time in 3
you know,
years.
listen, no, I had to tell him it wasn't gonna happen often. But we
At least he
even
knew.
we openly talked about it, and he was like, he called me a rare breed, and I was like, I know, because he's like just certain other relationships that he's had,
And let me tell you something.
and that's
when
exactly
when
I
you're
like what we
open,
have.
when you're open like
We are,
that,
yeah.
and you're honest, right? And you give him that freedom,
Yeah.
you'll find that he's around more.
Oh,
Why?
Yeah, he's
because
been around for 4 years.
exactly. You want to know why? Because you're not doing the clink shit that the average
and,
person
yeah,
does.
and we openly talked about that, and he was like, we just had a brief conversation about it, but I was like, and he started saying everything I was telling my friends, and I was like, nigga, you saying everything I've been trying to tell my friends, because they're all asking me why I'm not trying to make you my boyfriend, and I'm like, I like what we have, like, and you've been around, you're there when I need you for what I need you for, and we have fun, we enjoy each other's company, and that's it. That's
So
what
look,
I want.
you and
So,
him,
yes.
you guys should, like,
I
today,
mean,
tomorrow, whenever, just set a purpose. The purpose could be to have fun and play together.
Fuck
to-
the
to-
lives out of each other.
Okay, boom, and then there you go. You got
Okay.
you got something that's rooting you in the relationship with him. But yeah, I mean, people put way too much emphasis on the titles,
Right.
on the things people are doing, the time spent, and all
Because
that.
the truth is, someone's got a husband out there with a beautiful house and kids, and they're miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
absolutely.
yeah.
A lot of them are.
Marriage does not. Marriage does not.
Do you feel different in the last 2 days?
Or we.
The only thing that I feel different about is just my commitment to always remember who he is.
You know when she gonna feel a difference?
What?
Tax time is coming up. You about to see the difference.
Oh,
babe.
well, see.
I'm just letting you know. I kind of know what happens with taxes, and that's gonna be real nice for you.
We both owned, businesses and stuff like that. So he said, we'll cross that bridge.
Listen, that
Because
tax
he even
break,
told
nice.
me, he said, you can put whatever you want on your taxes, married or single. It doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, well, we'll figure it out.
That kind of has to come in agreement, because you can't put single and he puts married.
Who do you
so.
marry to?
Well, I mean, all that stuff. I was like, I got a CPA for that shit, and then I let him lead. It's
Girl,
like,
that's what I'm about to be, girl.
all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our other guest is here, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this last question, because I wanted to ask you, and it's a little bit off relationships, but it's something that I know you're good at. This is what the fuck you're bitch sexpert. My question is about the spark in a relationship.
Okay.
So not the actual relationship. When I first got with my wife, we talked about doing all kinds of freaky things, and over the course of the years, she's become a prude. No oral, no watching porn, no masturbation. We have sex once a month, and I feel like it's me who is to blame.
How old
We've
are
had
they?
issues with infidelity on both ends, hers and mine, and we even attempted having an open relationship, but it was only to her benefit. So my question is, how do I get my freak back that I once had? By the way, love y'all and wish I could have a show as amazing as y'all's. Well, thank you. And I actually said, we gonna say this for Tyomi. So,
Well, they got to start over. And starting over, you got to remember, first of all, that both of you are innocent. She went out, did what she wanted to do. Because she wanted to do that. And it had nothing to do with her not loving him, but everything to do with whatever was going on in her head and she chose to do. Same thing with him. Okay, fine. But now they literally have to go back to square one, because guess what? This woman is not the same woman that you met when you first met her.
XYZ ago, right?
And, okay, you're saying that, maybe it's infidelity, whatever. Have a conversation. Have an honest heart-to-heart conversation about what's going on, because there is nothing that anyone can do to you or say that is going to make you react or respond a certain way. It's how
Right.
you perceive what that person has said or done. Unless they're physically attacking you, there is nothing that anyone can do to harm you, not what they do with someone else's body
Right.
or not whatever. So really she's in her own head, and whatever she's going through right now, she has to overcome that.
Yeah, this is a guy wanting his wife to open back up. So is there anything, I know you deal with couples, what would you tell a male that is something maybe he could do maybe aside from communication
I would
that
say
he could, or I mean, talk.
that they need to.
I guess that's it, huh?
They need to buy my husband's book, Love is Not a Game, and they need to read that together. And they need
Love
to
is
go
not a
back.
game. Okay.
Yeah, they need to go back in and really reestablish the purpose for why they're together.
You said that you
Okay.
work with couples, like,
Yeah.
so what can someone, God, this sounds so terrible the way I'm wording it, but like, what can someone pay you for? Like life coaching type of things, like advice?
Yeah,
Like,
it's so when I work with couples, it really is like, it's basically talk-based coaching. And then sometimes it's,
yeah.
it can involve touch and stuff. It just depends on what we're working on. Like if a couple wants to learn different sex positions and stuff, then of course touching will be involved. But I don't have sex with clients. Like that's not what I do.
Okay.
But everything is
But I mean,
primarily.
I'm sure with all the things that you've said, a lot of people want to reach out to you. So that's
Oh
why.
yeah,
I
they
wanna
can
know.
totally reach out to me.
And
Just,
can you-
just, they just gotta know that I don't have sex with clients. It's not
Yeah,
what I do.
y'all, we not
'Cause they
sucking
gonna
your
see the
dick
picture and be
either.
like,
We not sucking your dick.
Yeah.
Tyomi is not coming over and giving you a ride session.
Nah, I'll
And-
give you a ride session by teaching you the moves, and then you can do it. If you want to have
Boom.
sex in front of me, you can do that as
Boom,
well.
yes.
But I'm not.
I think that's what King Noir does. He
Yeah.
helps and gets couples right
Yeah,
before
yeah,
they're
yeah.
about to have sex. That's what he said he does as well.
Oh yeah,
the-
I mean, but he's also a porn star.
He
so,
is.
You know,
He's both.
that-
He is
That's a little
both.
easy.
I mean, you can't not be a porn star with a dick
So
that
done.
look like that. I
No.
mean,
So like, can you do something that's like almost like therapy, like talking, like counseling type of things?
Yeah,
like
that's
things
what
like
we
that?
do.
Okay, great.
We Naeem and I together, we coach couples, and I coach couples solo as well, and it's mainly talk based, just like any other form of therapy. But it's really focused on sexuality. But
Okay.
what's interesting is that it always turns out to be more than that. It's not even just about the sex. It's like your
Sure.
health. You know, people's health has a lot to do with where they are sexually and how they feel, their libido. It's environmental factors, sociological factors. It's all this stuff that
right.
I just thought of
encompasses
something when
it.
she said that girl that wrote in about us bothering her. We'll give that read later.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to read it whole. Anyways, I appreciate you so much for coming on. I feel like
appreciate being
they're
here.
gonna be like, bring her on again. We need more. We gotta
Well,
talk
I live
about more.
here,
It's
so-
so funny.
Yeah,
When
no.
you were late, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna end up hating her.
And now you're like, oh no, bitch, we gotta bring her back on. No, and we're
hit
gonna.
that
have to-
FDR. I was like,
I was just like, it's okay. CP
No,
time.
I-
It
I-
happens. It's
I would really like to
2018.
ask
We're gonna
you
have to
and
work
your
on
husband
this.
questions together.
Oh,
Mainly
if
because,
we could do that,
oh, he
yes.
goes in, yeah.
Yeah.
If we can
but
get
mainly
both of you
because I
together,
think
that would
it'll
be great.
it'll show
It's
a
a
lot of
couple.
strength within a relationship. Like
Mhm.
I've been in a non-monogamous relationship with I used the word triad, but we didn't live together or anything. But I think that people always think this thing is one-sided, like
It's
one
not.
person.
And so
It's
I would
not.
love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to set it up. Again, maybe
Yeah.
to get him in here, and especially just hearing from a man how he would allow you to have other partners. We do have a lot of male
Right.
listeners, and so to hear
Let's
that
promo that
strength, and-
book.
you know, let's
Yeah.
go. So, anyways, where can our listeners find you? I mean, half of them already know who the fuck you is because that's how we found you.
Shout out
but-
to my followers. I love y'all, family.
But where can they find you on Twitter, Instagram, your website?
Yeah, so my website is sexperttyomi.com. The T's are separate. They don't share a T. You can find me on Twitter, Glamazon Tyomi, Instagram, The Glamazon Tyomi. I have catfish pages, so make sure you put the in
Oh.
front.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
it's
know you
crazy.
big when you got catfish pages.
It's crazy.
Oh, you popping.
Snapchat,
Yeah,
Glamazon
it's
Tyomi. If you want to see more like risque stuff, you can go on Tumblr.
Yes, Tumblr.
GlamazonTyomi.tumblr.com, and you can easily just put Glamazon Tyomi in Google. You can find all this
And
stuff.
all of this shit pop up. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I did my research. I was like, God damn, she got YouTube videos. Like, it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
on there. Go check out the writing video on YouTube. It's pretty.
YouTube.com/Glamorerotica101.
There you go. And again, thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming on.
ladies.
You've been
This was great.
amazing.
Yeah.
You
We were
deep.
so glad
You
you
got
came.
me feeling like, where am I in 2018? I wanted a relationship. Now I got to think of how I want it.
well,
God
we're
damn,
not
what-
non-binary
what
yet.
is
Like,
my, what is my purpose?
you know,
I
there's
guess
some
I need to
guests that we
find
have on Once in a Blue
Seriously.
where I'm like, do we just quit our own show? Like,
No, y'all good. Like,
Right, you
keep
did it.
going.
You
I'm
did
just
great.
I'm
Thank
sitting here
you
looking
so
at
much.
these toys like,
Oh yeah, that's it, girl. I
Yeah,
don't even
we-
use toys. This
we
is the
got
next
sent
episode.
these toys from
so
a
if you
company
know
called-
stuff about toys, maybe we could do one with you as well.
yeah.
I
Let's
did.
do it.
Yeah, I got you, girl.
That would be
So,
great.
No, that would be great.
These are, we haven't tested these yet. It just came
Mind
from a
you,
company
people
called
keep
Naughty
asking
Vibes,
us to talk
and we
about
have
stuff.
not
Yeah, we
tested
haven't
them.
tested them yet.
But they
so.
sent them for us to, yeah.
Yeah. shoving our pussies. So I guess again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks,
Guys,
ladies.
reach out to her. We're gonna put all of her information in the description of this bio. And you could also find all of her information when we post her on the Horrible Decisions page. That is at horrible_decisions. You can follow me at Full Court Pumps. You can follow this hoe at Weezy, what the fuck? She's not going to say it because she hates me.
She was like, you were on a roll. So I was
Anyways,
like, fuck it.
thank you guys. This has been yet another episode of Horrible Decisions.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. This was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. I guess so that we're not
I
out of
hope
time,
no
can
couples
we get,
listen
like,
that are not ready for
picture
that because they're going to be looking
of
at their
us
girlfriends
four
like,
so we can knock it out and then, well,
They're
let's
like,
get one
what
of-
you doing?
let's get one of- yeah, we'll do the 3, the 4, then three, so that we don't have to do this
And then
after
maybe
the show.
we can even get a drop from her by you saying hi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe if you want to
can
get
do
that
that.
in the hallway.
I'll do
I
that.
wanna-
Club.
Yeah.
That's what they be doing.
Yeah, you need
Okay,
that.
so we're
That's
gonna
all
do-
good short content. And you should probably keep that off.
On?
It's
Off.
hot in here. You're gonna get
Yeah,
hot.
I know. I just was trying to cover my tits for the picture. Cause
I mean, close the shirt. Whatever.
Move over a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's.
All right.
I look like a little baby.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let me get one more. 1, 2. Perfect.
Thanks so much.
Cool. Thanks, ladies. Thank you. That was awesome. Did they come back in?